Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about Poorva Ashadha Nakshatra. Poorva Ashadha Nakshatra starts at 13 degrees and 20 minutes and goes to 26 degrees and 40 minutes in the Sagittarius zodiac sign. The ruling planet for this nakshatra is Shukra or Venus. The ruling deities for this nakshatra is the Apas, meaning the water. The translation of Poorva Ashadha means former victor. This is a female nakshatra, and the guna is rajasic. And the nature of this nakshatra is fierce or severe. The element is air. The caste of this nakshatra is Kshatriya. And the yoni or the animal for this nakshatra is a male monkey. These natives in Poorva Ashadha are born with the divine gift of articulate speech. They're really imaginative. And they often criticize others without bothering about their opinions at all. These people trust a lot of people, and it can get them in trouble in the future. But these are the type of natives that don't change the words that they speak or break the promises they make. These people are known to have a really high integrity, and they're known to get married on sentiment, or it could be delayed with these natives. And the married life might not be happy. Poorva Ashadha natives have a really strong belief in themselves. They are really good at giving advice, but they're not great at taking advice. Sometimes these natives can jump to conclusion before they're done actually dealing with the problem. These people, they're not known to have long relationships with people. But even though you don't get tied down too often, you are still, thinking about God, and you're humble and honest, and you can't even stand hypocrisy. And you would never do anything to hinder the progress of other people. So when you get in relationships, you're always upfront and honest about it from the beginning. And you either don't get in relationships, or you tell them that, this is, might not lead anywhere. Let's just see how it goes. You're always honest up front. These people, they do like collecting antiques, and sometimes they even like writing poetry. Some of the traits of this nakshatra is that they like good food. They're usually really wealthy. A lot of people like them, and they're usually good looking. Sometimes if this planet that has this nakshatra, or planets that have this nakshatra, are going malefic, these people could have a superiority complex. And, or it could be vice versa. They could end up, settling for less than what they deserve. Males with this nakshatra usually are really intelligent. And like I already said, these traits are especially common in the males. They're really good at advising people, but they're never open to receiving from other people. Sometimes when the pressure gets put on you, you tend to make rash decisions without thinking about what's going to happen after you do it. And even though you end up doing a lot for people, you a lot of times get criticized. And the females with this nakshatra, sometimes these ladies, they make a lot of promises, but they don't keep them. So that's something that's a little bit different from the male counterparts. You also tend to express whatever you feel, and you don't really care about what people think about you. So it's weird that you would make promises but not fulfill them. I wonder why that is, if you don't care about what other people think. Maybe you do it because you want to make yourself, maybe you do it and you intend to keep it, but you don't. That's probably it. Because it's just not in your character to be like conniving and, so. Women with this nakshatra are known to be having really magnetic eyes. You're likely to be charming too. Usually people in Poorva Ashadha are they like the social sphere because of Venus ruling this nakshatra. Poorva Ashadha has an underlying belief in itself that it's invisible. Sometimes you can have unrealistic hopes. You like performing your tasks like right away. You're not a procrastinator. These natives, they tend to also like the idealistic spiritual path. Um, these natives are really passionate. You like being with people that keep you enchanted and keep your creative fires burning, so to speak. This nakshatra likes to have fun and enjoy. You tend to see the lighter side of life. You don't like to hang around people that are intense and analytical and who always talk about like transformations or anything like that. I mean, you have your own transformations that you've dealt with. So just hearing about somebody else's transformations doesn't really interest you for a long time. You like to hang around people that have a lot of power, that intrigues you. When people are really needing you or they're, feeling lonely, you are really sympathetic to that. You like it when people can see the creative side of you and understand your own spirituality too. You thrive really well with people who support you and love and care for you. I mean, everybody does, really. But you're more likely to stay with somebody like that. You don't care if, people get emotional with you. In fact, it probably amuses you. When somebody does genuinely fall in love with you, you're likely to get inspired by that. These natives in Poorva Ashadha have a really, I mean not to the extreme, but have a pharisaical way of thinking. You guys do like to, have the highest thoughts, and so when people are stroking your ego, so to speak, you find that amusing. You like it when people encourage you. And to be honest, who really doesn't, I mean, do you want to hang around with somebody who's not encouraging you? Then that relationship probably won't last that long. And now we're getting back to some more nakshatras that, they really don't like to be fenced in. This is one of them. You don't mind falling in love on your own time, but you don't want somebody yanking you around in love and trying to make you love them before it's due time for that. So you won't do well with clingy people. It might frighten you, as a matter of fact. I mean, some people, they like clingy people. It strokes their ego in another way, but you like to get your ego stroked, but you don't have like low morals, and I mean, not saying that somebody that likes that does have low morals, but your morals are so like high that it would make you feel bad if somebody was getting too attached and clingy to you, because you don't have the same feelings. Everything has to happen in due time with you. Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to feel blocked or imprisoned. I mean, sometimes people can be really devotional in their behavior. It may not be that they're like too clingy. It just may be in their nature to be devotional. So, I mean, you have to be able to sometimes see the difference. And maybe that type of relationship isn't good for you. But some people, they're clingy. They have a low self-esteem sometimes. And sometimes they're clingy and they're egotistical. I mean, you have to be able to know why somebody's attachment is the way that it is. But some people, they're just devotional. Like, I mean, it's just in their nature to be devotional, but they wouldn't have attachment issues if you got up and walked away. They would just be devotional towards something else or someone else. I mean, like with Uttara Ashadha, you have some of the qualities that Uttara Ashadha has, but you're more social than Uttara Ashadha. Uttara Ashadha is more recluse. Sometimes you can help people, like if somebody is like having trouble, you can help them see life in an easy breezy way, like take it cool. And one of the natives of this nakshatra that's just reminding me so much of what this nakshatra embeds is Amabicha Bachan, and forgive me if I'm not saying that correctly, but I mean he embodies this nakshatra totally. Amabicha Bachan he's an actor, and he is a rather famous actor. I mean, he's still alive and he still plays in movies. He's really good looking, ambitious. And he doesn't, I've heard stories that like he goes to like the temple. I think Swami Sarvan Priyananda, he was talking about one of the monks that went, she was actually not from India, but she was allowed to go into one of the temples, and, you know, like before the whole packs of people would come. So she got to be in that temple like all by herself. It was so lucky. But she got to go in there all by herself, and one of the times Amabicha Bashan was in there with like one of his relatives or something, and like she didn't even know like who he was or anything, but like later on found out who he was. So I mean, even like this nakshatra is like, I mean, you are leaning towards spirituality, even if you are, you know, really social, and you know, even if you're in a wealthy status, you still wouldn't let that hinder you from, you know, praying and everything. And you know, Amabicha Bashan, I mean, he's got really magnetic eyes, you know, kind of like what they say about the native. So yeah. Let's see, is there any... I guess we'll move into the compatibility list here. And I mean, even these people, being spiritual, you could even see them actually getting into occult and tantric things as well. I mean, when I say occult and tantric, I'm meaning like more religious, ancient type of practices. I'm not talking about something that, yeah, it's different today, but when it was originated, it was normal. So I don't want you to think that I'm thinking of something like that's completely off. When I say occult or tantric practices, I'm meaning that it's like more enhanced yagyas and more enhanced mantras, and you know, it's not only going to the temple, and it's not only going to like prayer grounds, it's putting these things in your life, in your home. You know, it's going beyond just the Sunday visit to church, or just the casual traditional Diwali puja, or you know, it's more than just that. It's like an everyday thing. So when I say occult or tantra, that's what I mean. I don't mean like something that's, you know, like Satan worshipers or something like that. I don't mean that. For all my viewers who don't really understand the full concept of what I'm meaning there. So let's get to the compatibilities here. Let's see. Oh, and Jane Fonda actually had this nakshatra as well. I was meaning to mention her too. She, you know, I mean, a lot of people have controversial views about her, but I mean, overall, I mean, she made tons. She was in movies. You know, a really classic movie that she played in was 9 to 5. Barbarella, that was a really good one. I mean, if you want to go on like a fantasy ride, I recommend Barbarella. That movie is like Like, I grew up watching that movie. It's such a weird movie. I mean, if you see it today, I mean, you probably still enjoy it. It's a really, really intriguing, kind of bizarre movie, but really interesting. But she also did like aerobics videos, and I mean, she was really involved in like, I mean, like I said, these natives, they like to tell the truth and they don't care what people think. And she, you know, had some controversial comments that she's made, you know, back when the war was going on and stuff. But yeah, I mean, and she's got those really magnetic eyes too. And she's really beautiful. So it's just more of this nakshatra shining through these natives there. And I am going to go to the compatibility now. And so these people are going to get along with other nakshatras of Shukra or Venus. So that means that means Bahraini, Poorva Ashadhas, Poorva Falgunis. It's going to get along with Shani or Saturn, and that's Pushya, Anuradha, Uttra Bhadrapada. And it's going to get along with nakshatras of Mercury or Buddha, and that means Ashlesha, Jeshta, Revati. Things are going to start going neutral with Brihaspati or Jupiter nakshatras, and so that's Purnavasu, Vishaka, and Poorva Bhadrapada. Things will also be neutral with Mangala or Mars nakshatras. So that means Dhanishta, Chitra, and Mrigashira. And then things are going to start going uneasy with Rahu and Ketu. And that means Mula, Magha, Ashwini, Arudra, Swati, and Shatabisha. And the most challenging are going to be nakshatras of Surya. So that means Kritika, Uttar Falguni, Uttar Ashadha. And nakshatras of Chandra or the moon. And so that's going to be Rohini, Hasta, and Shravana. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much.